Marina asks from North Carolina, in my efforts to be in the now, I find I'm able to reach a state of peace and connectedness. I think that I wouldn't call it effort, but I know what you mean. It feels complete and fulfilling, and yet there's a voice in my mind saying that to be truly connected, I should find a way to be in service to others. Can you help me understand the role that being in service to others plays in the evolutionary impulse of the universe? Thank you for bringing a ray of hope to humanity. It is an interesting synchronicity to me that the day of your program launch is also my birthday. Happy birthday. The evolutionary impulse of the universe, the arising of presence. You cannot not be of service to others as presence arises, one way or another. The way in which you are of service to others will vary from person to person. You may not immediately know what your way is. Again, the mind sometimes wants to know too soon, okay, what am I doing? What am I going to do with it now? I'm present. Be present, and gradually the realization of how you are to serve others, whether it's through direct spiritual teaching or whether it's through some activity into which the energy frequency of presence flows, you don't know. You need to, it may come to you, it might take a while. It took years for this teaching to come out of the state of presence, so many years. It may take a while, or it may happen very quickly. There is an acceleration happening on the planet now of the arising of presence. So it's probably happening more quickly to you than to me. How to be of service to others, whether it's through direct spiritual teaching or some activity, they will come to you either through an external circumstance that will tell you what it is that you need to do. It can come from the outside as a synchronistic event, and this many people are telling me that they're finding that things that are just right as they live more and more in presence come into their lives. The right offer, you're meeting the right person, and suddenly what it is that you need to do arises. From the outside it comes. Or you wake up one morning and with the realization of, this is what I need to do. And then I would wait and see, just to make sure that it comes from a deep enough place. And if it's still there the next day and a week later, and there's a deep sense of peace with it and power, then it comes from a deep place. And then it's good to act on it. This is how I got taken away from living in England. I loved England, but one morning I knew I have to remove myself without knowing why. And it was so strong that I removed myself. I knew I had to go to the west coast of North America, not knowing why, and it took a while before I got rid of everything, removed myself, landed on the west coast. What now? Don't know. And so I sat there for a few weeks in presence, and the mind, yes, came in occasionally and said, this is, why did you come here? It doesn't make sense. And the mind even started to look at ads for flying back to England, fares. And then at some point, the impulse came to buy a notepad, carried the notepad, not home, I didn't have a home, somebody had put me up. And there in his kitchen, the pen came and a very strong impulse came to write. And I wrote, what is enlightenment? Somebody had once asked me that, but I remembered more or less what I had said. But that was a new stream that came. And I'd written one page and I knew this is a book, it's coming. And so there was simply something I couldn't have predicted, obedience to what came out of the present moment, and the trust to go just into with a limited amount of money, into complete unknown. But don't do it on an impulse that is a restless kind of impulse, or that comes out of any kind of negative emotion. And see if it's still with you after a while. Then it's right. It's peaceful and it's powerful. It seemed the book could only be written on the west coast of North America because of the energy field there. I realized that later when I went back to England. The writing stopped. I could only do editing. And so all kinds of things people will be called upon to serve in all kinds of capacities according to your abilities. It may be that you produce something artistic or music that is inspiring to many people. Whatever it is, we don't know. It may be that you set up a business and everybody who comes there is greeted as for who they are. So you recognize everybody as spirit, as consciousness, and everybody who comes away from your business feels lighter and more themselves. Many things can be used as excuses for spiritual transmission and spiritual teaching. And if you already have some business or some activity, it is quite possible that this could continue to be used then as a vehicle for transmission of spiritual energy. And then it will become empowered. Beautiful thing. There's no predicting how this will change your life, except that it will change your life. And even if some people may not remove themselves, they may stay where they are, and yet it will change. It might not change what you do, but it will fundamentally change how you do what you do. That's always the most important thing, is not what you do, it's how you do it. What is the consciousness that flows into it? Is it the egoic consciousness, or is it the unconditioned consciousness?